Hi, everyone. It's Miss Gubrud. Welcome to Lesson 1-12. We are going to be learning about numeric proportions again and connecting them to factor puzzles. So we're going to think way back to how to solve factor puzzles. And we're also going to remind ourselves about those analogies that we did last week, or maybe a week and a half or whatever it was ago, to think about each thing, the first two things, having a relationship. And that's the same relationship as the second two things. So let's take a look. These first two blanks, something and something, have a relationship with each other. In the same way that, holy cow, I missed, I need to have two of these. My goodness. There we go. In the same way that this thing has a relationship with this thing, but it's the same relationship. Now, don't get tricked. We can't have the same words in this whole thing. Each one of these blanks has to be its own different word and different idea, but the relationships between the two are the same. So let's try one that's a linguistic analogy before we get into numeric ones. Now, I will admit, I took this analogy, one of these that I'm going to use in this video, I took one from some of our friends from last week. So just so you know. But let's take a look at this analogy. Okay. What if I said it's raining? I could even get rid of the it's if I wanted to. So it's just one word, raining. And then umbrella. What is the relationship between raining and umbrella? It's cause and effect, isn't it? The cause is it's raining. The relationship is so we what? Bring an umbrella. So it's so we use. So there's the relationship. It's cause and effect, and our brain can kind of think, so we use. So it's cause, effect. Now, the words, so we use, the same relationship, cause and effect, that's exactly the same over here. So I'm actually going to write it over here too to remind us. So we use, that's also cause and effect. Now, this is really important because whatever we put over here has to follow the same pattern. So it's raining, so we use an umbrella. I'm going to use the two words over here. Let me grab a different color a second. Okay, I got green now. I'm going to use the two words, owie, or injury, and Band-Aid. So those are the two words I'm going to use up here. Notice I'm not using the word umbrella again. I'm not using the word raining again. Nope, I'm not going to use those two words again. I need two different words that have the same relationship. And I'm choosing the word injury, owie, I just don't know how to spell, and Band-Aid. So injury and Band-Aid. The question is, does it matter which one I put in which space? It does matter because we need to be able to use this same cause effect. We need to say, so we use. It's raining, so we use an umbrella. Something, so we use something. So where does the injury have to go and where does the Band-Aid have to go? The injury, we have an injury, so we use a Band-Aid. What if we did it the other way around? Let's try that. It's going to be kind of goofy. Hold on, I'm going to erase a second. All right, what if I started with the Band-Aid, and then put injury there. We have there's a Band-Aid, so we use an injury. That doesn't even make sense. That totally doesn't make sense. So that is how these analogies have to work. That same relationship between these two has to be the same relationship, and even the order has to follow. If this is the cause, the first word is the cause on one, the first word has to be a cause on the other. So let's get rid of it and change it back. There we go. So it's raining, so we use an umbrella. Cause is on the left side, effect is on the right. We have an injury, so we use a Band-Aid. The same relationship. There's a cause on the left-hand side and an effect on the right-hand side. Let's try one more linguistic analogy, because this is really important in helping us understand how to use numeric proportions and how to get them set up. So hold on, I'm going to erase. I'll be right back with you. All right, here we go. Let's try this one. This is the one I took from one of our friends in 6th grade. Shout out to you. Do you know who you are? Ketchup hot dogs. What's the relationship between ketchup and hot dogs? Well, I know my relationship between ketchup and hot dogs is something I put on to make it taste yummy. So I'm going to write that. Something I put on to make it taste yummy. That's the relationship. The actual word for ketchup and mustard, that sort of thing, is condiment, if you haven't heard that word. But it's something that we put on to make it taste yummy. Ketchup and hot dogs. Now, here's the other one. We know that this same relationship here has to be the same relationship over there. So I'm going to write that down. All right, there you see I wrote it. So something I put on to taste yummy. Now, what's the relationship? The first word is the topping, the something I put on. And the second word is the thing that then tastes yummier. So that has to be the same relationship over here. Topping and thing. And notice how it has to go in the same order. We can't switch the order around because the relationship is something I put on to make it taste yummy. The first thing, the ketchup, is what I put on. The hot dog is what tastes yummy. So I have to do that same relationship here. The first thing has to be the topping. The second thing that has to be then what tastes yummy, or maybe yummier, you could say. Here's the two words. Butter and toast. Toast and butter. Which one has to go in which order? Because I put butter on my toast in the morning to make it taste yummier. Does it matter which one, toast and butter, I put? Pause and think. Which is the topping and which is the thing that's going to taste yummier? That's the order I have to put them in. Because the topping comes first, I have to put the butter first. Because the thing that tastes yummier comes second, I have to put the thing that tastes yummier second. Notice how, let me grab my other marker. Notice how the first ones, those ones are the topping, and the second ones in this particular example, those ones are the thing that tastes yummier. It has to follow that same relationship. That's how analogies go. Whatever is first here has to match with whatever's first here. Whatever's second here has to match with whatever's second over there. That's really important for numbers and math too. So I'm going to get this erased up. Let's talk about today's workbook pages. You know what? I just figured out Before we do that, let's just read it if we messed that up. It's kind of silly to think. Toast is something I put on to make butter taste yummy. That's kind of funny. Toast is something you put on to make butter taste yummy. Thank you for that analogy idea. All right, so I've laid out my factor puzzle. In order to think about how we're going to put the numbers in, let's talk about putting the words in to see how that could work. So we know that raining causes us to bring an umbrella. Having an injury causes us to use a Band-Aid. Where are we going to put that in here? You're right if you're thinking, I don't really know. Like, how would we put words into a factor puzzle? I don't know. You're thinking right. You might also be thinking, does it matter? And the answer is yes and no. And that's the tricky part about putting numbers in a factor puzzle too. The answer is yes and also no. So where are we going to start putting in that it's raining? The answer is you could choose any of these squares because we haven't started anything yet. So let's start by putting raining down here. It's raining. Once we start putting something in, that's where we have to think about what labels are going to follow and where those labels need to be. So as soon as we put the very first thing in, then we're going to label, and then it does matter. So the answer is no, it totally doesn't matter before, but as soon as you put one number in, then it does matter. So now we've got raining. Now, we know that raining goes along with umbrella. We could put raining an umbrella here, raining an umbrella. We could put raining an umbrella here, raining an umbrella. Either way, it totally doesn't matter. But the place it can't go is kitty cross. Can't go crosswise. So this is right out for umbrella. So the same thing is true with numbers. Once we put the very first number in, then we have to say, okay, where are we going to put the rest? The only place that isn't a choice right now for us is crossways. So let's do raining or umbrella or raining umbrella. Now let's do it over here. Now, here's where we want to label. The raining was in this column. That was the cause. The umbrella is the effect, and it's in this column. Now it really matters. Let me get rid of this X. Now's the space it really matters because we have to look at injury and Band-Aid, and we have to follow the same choices here that we followed when we were doing raining and umbrella. We chose to put raining here, and this is the cause column. So we have to put injury there. Those are the two causes. This is the effect column. So we have to put the Band-Aid in the effect column. So it starts from not mattering at all, easy peasy lemon squeezy, you can put it anywhere, to, oh, now we're limited, a little bit limited. We got to choose to go sideways or up and down. And once we do that, boom, then we've got to follow the pattern that we've set. So now it's raining, which causes us to bring an umbrella. We have an injury, which causes us to wear a Band-Aid. This is the cause column. This is the effect column. Let's try that with the ketchup and the hot dogs. All right. Again, we got our blank factor puzzle. Where do we start? I hope you said the answer is it doesn't matter. We totally can start anywhere we want. So you say, okay, I can start anywhere I want. Well, I'll start here. Okay, you can start anywhere you want. So wherever you start, as soon as you write one word in, that's where then you have to start limiting yourself and thinking about what your choices that are left. So ketchup and hot dogs, you say, I'm going to start. You'll write ketchup right there. Okay. Now, what is the only space that we can't write hot dogs in? Kitty corner. We can't go kitty corner. We can either go up and down or we go side to side. Last time we chose side to side, didn't we? Let's choose up and down. Just kick things up a little bit. So ketchup is up here. Hot dogs is we're going to put down here. Now remember, this is a really good time to label so that you know where the butter and toast goes. So let's label this ketchup. This is the topping. So this row is the topping row. That means this row is the eating food. I don't know, thing that tastes yummier. That's the thing that tastes yummier row. So we got to get rid of this. Now we have to put butter and toast in. This absolutely makes a difference. You have to say to yourself, where are these numbers going to go? Butter. I have two choices. Now it does matter. Am I going to put it in the topping row or the thing that tastes yummier row? Well, hopefully the topping row. Butter is the topping. What about toast? Well, now it doesn't matter again because there's only one space left. So it kind of starts out not mattering, and the very end, you only have one choice. So you could kind of say either it's only one choice, or you could say it doesn't matter because there's only one thing left. There, we've got it. Ketchup is the topping that makes hot dogs taste yummier. Butter is the topping that makes toast taste yummier. Let's do it with numbers. All right, if you don't have your book, please grab it. I'm on page 37. I'm going to do number 1. So you should be doing this right along with me. This is number 1. All right, A, remember a letter in math. Anytime a letter shows up, it's just a number that we don't know. It's a mystery number. We're going to try to figure it out. So a mystery number A has some relationship to 32 in the same way as or is equivalent to 15 to 40. Now, for me, as soon as I look at numbers, my brain always says, okay, but what do those numbers mean? What are they connected to? I hope your brain is telling you the same thing. We want to know, what are we talking about? Not just numbers. You should be putting a context in every situation. The context is something where the relationship is 15 to 40. Can you pause and think of anything that could be in a relationship between 15 and 40? Pause and think and literally actually write down in your book what you thought of. Okay, well, I decided to talk about running versus biking because I know I personally could bike a lot farther than I can run. Now, if you're an awesome Olympic runner, shout out to some of our runners in our 6th grade. If you are a runner, this might be different for you. But for me, if I was going to run over the course of a week and I ran 15 miles, at the same time over the course of the week, I could bike 40 miles. So I could bike a lot farther than I can run. So I chose running and biking. You can choose anything at all. What did you choose? Okay, so we've got miles of running compared to miles of biking. Now, what about this? How do we know what those numbers are? Remember, just like in our analogies, they have to follow the same pattern, the same order. So if I say 15 is my running, that means the first number is me running. If I say the 40 is me biking, that means the second number is me biking. So these two numbers have to follow that same pattern. The running number comes first. The biking number comes second. That's going to help when I start putting it in the factor puzzle, isn't it? So let's take a think, because that's going to be easier to label. Let's take a minute and say, where should we start? Well, again, just like the ketchup and toast, just like the Band-Aids, you can start anywhere at all. You can choose any of these numbers and you can put them anywhere at all. So I'm going to start with the what I already know. And I'm going to leave out for a second the what I need to learn. Okay? So here we go. The 15 and the 40. I'm going to put the 15 There. Okay. Once you put the first number in, then remember, it's not just open season anymore. Now, there's some limitations. What's the only place I can't put the 40? Kitty corner. Can't put a kitty corner. So I can do running here and biking here, or I could do running here and biking here. Either one is fine. I'm going to do running and I'm going to put biking here for now. So there's the 15. There's the 40. Now's the time that you probably want to label or at least be thinking specifically about labeling. Now that this is here, this is the column for running. So I'm going to write running. That's the running column. And here's the 40. That means that's the biking column. Now, I will put these labels right on. I want you to write those right in your book, just like we talked about right here. Write it right in your book because it's really going to help you. Now, let's get rid of this X. We're all done with that. And we've got to figure out where the A, mystery number we don't know, and 32 go. How do we know where they go? Could A go here or here? Could 32 go here or here? We have to follow our labels and follow our order. The number that was in the running column, that was the first number, that was the running. There it is. Here's the running column. That means the first number over here, the one that represented how far I was going to run, that one needs to go right there by the 15. So that's the letter A. Or you could also leave that blank if you were thinking like, I like factor puzzles that have a blank in them instead of a letter. You can do that. You just leave that A right there. And a blank is something we have to find out too. That's okay. The 32 is in the biking. So here's the biking column. 32 was the second number. 40 is the second number. They're both representing the biking. We got our factor puzzle set up. Now you're ready to solve your factor puzzle. Remember, if you don't know how to solve a factor puzzle, go back to lessons 1, 1, 1, 2. Rewatch those videos because I give you several examples of how to do it. You can always see me in office hours too. So when you're setting these up, give yourself a context because it makes it so much easier. The first number has to match up and be in a line, either horizontal or vertical, with the first number here. The second number has to match up and be in a line, either horizontal or vertical, with the second number. Good luck. See you next time.